Please welcome Maureen Gallagher, the CEO of the Mass Down Syndrome Congress.
Now that's what I call style. Woo! Please give our young adults another round of applause for starting our luncheon on such a fabulous note. On behalf of the Massachusetts Down Syndrome Congress, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 28th Annual MDSC Conference. As you know, this year's theme, Style Down Syndrome, is a response to GQ magazine's tasteless article last summer that offended the entire Down syndrome community. On July 15th, 2011, GQ slammed Bostonians as the worst dressed in the country. Boston suffers from a kind of style down syndrome where a little extra ends up ruining everything, the magazine said. Words cannot describe how truly hurtful these words were. But typical of our close-knit and resolute community, we did not sulk. We responded with force, solidarity, and grace. Our own Dr. Brian Scocco wrote a blog response that went viral well beyond the Down syndrome community. "Go ahead, GQ," he wrote. "Mock my blue, whale-emblemed Nantucket red pants, but do not mess with my sister." The story hit a nerve. It was picked up by the Washington Post, Fox News, and others. Now today, 8 months later, we officially take back what Style Down Syndrome really means. As we have marveled from all the wonderful photo submissions that you have sent in to the MDSC, people with Down syndrome definitely have a style in a traditional sense. But Style Down Syndrome is so much more than suit and tie or evening gown high fashion. Down syndrome is determination. It is integrity, humor, toughness, perseverance, loyalty, curiosity, generosity, compassion, personality, love. It is in this spirit that we welcome some very special guests today, all the way from New Jersey, the Langstons, including Ryan, whose style is evident by his groundbreaking fashion in the Nordstrom and Target ads. But as you will learn later, the Langston family personifies Down syndrome in more than one way. We also want to recognize the Crocker family, who are here with us today. Many of you were touched by Dr. Alan Crocker, who was a true giant in our community and in our lives. Dr. Crocker passed away this past year, and he will be truly missed. Let's pause for one moment in his memory. Today, we dedicate our conference to Alan. As we contemplate what Style Down Syndrome really means, consider this photo sent in to us by Abigail Riccardi of her 10-year-old son, James. In the photo, which you may have seen on our Facebook page, James is participating in a sleep apnea study. He's hooked up to a jumble of machines. What is James's style? As you can see, James is cuddling a teddy bear wearing a big, beautiful smile. His style, his mom writes, is that he smiles when all others would complain. And this wasn't just a good moment for James. This young man, she wrote, has undergone numerous heart surgeries and other medical procedures. And each time, he is the one that ends up cheering all of us up instead of the other way around. Now that's Style Down Syndrome. Or Style Down Syndrome is the picture sent to us by the mother of 3-month-old Mila Marie Toffling, right before she had her scheduled heart surgery. Her mother, Mercedes, tells us shortly after birth, Mila was diagnosed with a complete AV canal defect. "I wanted to share this picture," Mercedes says, "because it was the one we posted on top of her hospital bed to remind us of how perfect she is and how her heart is full of love despite her medical challenges. Or style Down syndrome is exemplified by this photo of John Anton. For years, John has been a leader at the State House, interning first for Representative Michael Costello, and now for our dear friend, Representative Tom Sanacandro. Amazingly, John has taken his advocacy to a new level this past year, and he has now joined the MDSC as our advocacy specialist. John just returned from Capitol Hill, where for the third consecutive year he joined us at the Buddy Walk on Washington, meeting face-to-face with Massachusetts senators and congressmen to push for policy changes that benefit the entire Down syndrome community. John is not afraid to tell the world of his dream to one day hold elective office. Earlier this year, Time magazine, which was working on a story about the impact of the new non-invasive prenatal test, shadowed John throughout the day. And as you can see, the photographer wonderfully captured John's bold style: ambitious, earnest, influential, persuasive, purposeful, presidential. As you know, this is a time of uncertainty for the Down syndrome community. Without a doubt, the release of the new prenatal tests raises questions about the very future of Down syndrome. At the MDSC, we know there is only one way to definitively answer those questions: to prove to the world what we all understand: the unmistakable, irreplaceable, immeasurable value of each and every individual with Down syndrome. This is a task I am proud to say that the MDSC is up to, and one that will be proven 1,000 times over during the course of today. And that's the real style of Down syndrome.